Hi, team, and welcome to a very special training today called Focus on the Power of Three. And I've been joined by Crown Presidential Keith Babin, who next month will be celebrating 27 years with First Fitness Nutrition. And I want to tell you, if I had one name that I would give Keith Babin, it would be Mr. Consistency. And you're going to see how his daily habits have allowed him for 27 years to build a thriving business with First Fitness Nutrition. So at this time, please help me welcome Crown Presidential Keith Babin. Keith, welcome to our training.
Thank you so much, Nigel. Always a joy to spend time with you, the company, what we've been doing for all these years. And hey, looking forward to the next 27 years.
You know, Keith, when I think about the first time I met you, it was at the Holiday Inn in Gonzales, Louisiana. You were 25 years old at the time. And at the end of the meeting, you bought this notebook to me, and we were selling the Suddenly Slim weight loss program. You had over 50 customers, and you were so proud that you'd been documenting their process, and you were telling me how much this one had lost and how much that one had lost. Do you want to know something? 27 years later, not much has changed. You are one person that I know, if I called you today and said to you, can you tell me about this team member's volume last year, last month, last week, you would be able to have those numbers. And I just got to commend you for that, because that is paying attention to detail, but also treating your business like a business. I think what would be very interesting in our training today is to start off with your story. How did you get involved in First Fitness Nutrition?
Well, my mother was reading a magazine. Actually, it was a Money Makers Monthly magazine, which is a magazine that was dedicated to the network marketing business. Now, we say home-based business today, everybody works remote. Not everybody, but it's a norm. You'll hear people do that. But you gotta go back with me to realize there was nobody working from home in 1999. That was not heard of. Any young people on the phone today, or even mid-age, maybe you comprehend that, maybe you don't. But back then it was no idea of that. Well, my mother had subscribed to this magazine, and she came across an article that someone had posted in that magazine with First Fitness Nutrition talking about detoxing. And again, back in 1999, if you said the word detox, your mind didn't go to health and wellness. Now, 2026, the word detox, so much is linked to wellness and health. And my mother happened to call the 1-800 number, get some information, give her credit card to a total stranger over the phone. That seems normal today, but go back with me, not so much. Tried the products with First Fitness Nutrition, had amazing results, and decided to start a business in Gonzales, Louisiana, helping people get healthy and lose weight through detoxing. And I didn't know what my mother was doing. I could see the results that happened to her body, but I just wasn't on board right away with starting a business. But my mom went in front of me and built something and started earning income, actually earning more money than I did working my full-time job. Now, I was just a school teacher, so I don't want to, make the story seem so big. But the fact was, she was earning more money than me at my full-time job. And I decided to take a look at First Fitness Nutrition and start my own business. So Nigel, if you ask me what got me involved, it was my mom and the fact that she was earning income working from home. And I decided I needed to make extra money. And so I linked up with her, became a team member, and got started on a part-time basis, which is something that I think all people need to grasp, the power of part-time. And that's what's amazing about our industry. It takes a full-time attitude, but you can get started with us in this industry in your part-time and with consistency and working the system that we have. And so you asked me what made me decide to give the business a chance. Two things, Nigel. I wanted to make more income, extra income. And to be honest with you, I wanted to experience time freedom. Network marketing is something that offers people freedom. And to me, that seemed something like I wanted to be able to have an opportunity with. And so the two things that gave me a reason to start, I needed to make extra income, and I thought it would be awesome to be able to obtain time freedom through owning my own business. And so that's what got me started 27 years ago.
Keith, in regards to starting your business and making that decision to do it on a part-time basis, what was your initial goal that you had set for yourself financially? In other words, how much extra income did you want to start making a month, and how much did you start making a month in your first 12 months with First Fitness Nutrition?
Great question. And these are great nuggets, Nigel, that you're asking me to share. And for anybody that is with us on this webinar, these are things that are going to help you. At this time, I was fixing to do what's called a faculty rep for the soccer team at my high school where I was teaching and coaching. Now, what that meant is we had a soccer coach that wasn't on staff at our school. They were a parent, but for them to be able to do that, they had to have somebody with the school there representing the school while they were at practice or at games. So my job was just to be there. I didn't have to coach. I had to sit in the stands whether it was raining, cold, hot, travel far distance on bus, and they would pay me what's called a stipend, which winded up being a little over $300 a month added to my teaching salary and football coaching salary. So I thought originally, man, if I could make an extra $300, I wouldn't have to go ride in that bus or sit in those cold or hot metal bleachers to sit there and just be present during a soccer game. And that number, $300, was something that on my mind I thought would be amazing if I could achieve. And you asked me, how did I do with my first year on a part-time basis? It took me a little while, Nigel. The first 5 months, I still remember I made a little less than $1,200 in my first 5 months. Well, if you do the math on that, that's just a little over $200 a month. So that's what got me started. But at the end of the year, first 12 months, part-time basis, I made an extra $16,000. So I really ramped it up in that 6 months to finish out the year.
Yeah, fantastic. Keith, and most importantly, what is 27 years of consistently building one business allowed you to accomplish from a income, lifestyle, and financial standpoint?
As far as income, we have made a little over $2 million working with First Fitness Nutrition. As far as lifestyle, what I love about network marketing is that word lifestyle. And the lifestyle that First Fitness Nutrition has given me is something that I don't know if you can put a price on. It really is amazing. And so we've did things through this company that I don't know if I would have been able to do just working in my traditional work. Through the company, been able to own 4 Mercedes paid for by the company, travel the world. And I literally mean that, travel the world. In 1 year, I went to Australia and Africa in a 12-month time frame. That would be a life, like a dream vacation type thing to do in a lifetime. We were able to do it in 12 months with First Fitness Nutrition. And the people that we've been able to do it with working side by side with common goals to have more, achieve more, and mostly become more is what I've enjoyed about this industry and through this company, First Fitness Nutrition.
You know, Keith, I want to transition now into the mindset, because I think your attitude determines your altitude, right? And I think that all has to do with mindset. And you have watched thousands of people come and go over the years. And what I want to talk about is, why do so many people quit in network marketing or in First Fitness before they ever really give themselves a chance? What do you attribute that to?
I think, Nigel, you said it earlier, failing to treat First Fitness Nutrition like a business, a real business. It is a real business. Nobody would approach a business with a 30-day mentality or a 90-day mentality, or even if we're really comprehend business, nobody would even think of a business with a 1-year mentality. And so to answer your question, I would say the failure to not look at this as a real business, meaning look at it with long-term vision of what you want to do. Now, remember, most people are going to do this part-time. Think about this. If somebody was going to college part-time, in other words, you're going to go to college and take 50, the average student would go to school 15 hours a semester. But I told you I'm only going 3 hours a semester. I'm part-time. There's no way I could graduate at the speed you would, because you're going full-time. I could graduate, but part-time, it's going to take time. So being that most people join our industry part-time, it would be ridiculous for someone to think they could graduate college at a speed rate going part-time. Part-time is what this is all about. Not treating this like a hobby, but part-time, treating it like a real business with a full-time attitude is the reason, Nigel, that I would say so many quit, to the point right there. That's what I would say.
You know, Keith, and I totally agree with what you've just shared with our listeners, but I'm going to add something even more to that statement. You know what I think is a challenge is sometimes we as individuals, part of the network marketing industry, do a disservice by talking to people and encouraging them to join our business and tell them how easy it is. It's almost like we oversell what they can really achieve. And so I think a lot of people, they get in thinking that First Fitness is kind of like their lottery ticket. And when that lottery ticket doesn't come in, they throw in the towel. But they haven't taken the time to learn the skills, to learn the system, and to learn how to be successful. And I think that I'm not trying to tell someone, hey, get involved in First Fitness and this is hard. No, it's a very simple business, but it absolutely takes hard work and effort to be very, very successful. Now, can you make a nice part-time income just sharing the products? Absolutely. But if you want to build a business, I think you'll agree, you've got to learn the skills of how to build a successful business, how to lead people, how to train, and how to plug into the support system. Do you agree with that, Keith?
Absolutely, Nigel. My brother is a sports performance weightlifting coach, and he trained under one of the most recognized strength and conditioning coaches literally around the world. This gentleman was actually the strength coach at one time for the USA Olympic team. And no matter who used to come into his facility to start training, he would hand you a PVC pipe. It didn't matter what you looked like physically. He wanted to watch your mechanics of your body before you started adding weights Now imagine how humbling that would be. You walk in there and you're this macho guy, and this guy hands you a PVC pipe. He wanted to watch your mechanics, your form, your foundation before he ever started building you. And I remember when my dad took me and my brother to meet him when we were kids, because we were athletes. We would come home and we're saying we worked out with a plastic pipe today. It was very humbling, but you have to start somewhere. Now, it would have been ridiculous for us to say, well, we're going to quit this because we're not going to work out with a plastic pipe. It don't even weigh anything. But we were going somewhere. But trust me, after being involved under the training, we weren't working out with a plastic pipe in the future. We actually put on the weights and we were able to get stronger and better. And so just so happens that's a weightlifting story, but it's effective in what we're talking today. You have to build a foundation. I don't care what you're doing, building a house, building a business, building a life. It takes a proper foundation. And if you miss that part of this training, you've missed it all, because that's what we're talking about right there.
Well, I agree with you, Keith. You know, the central message of our training today is focus on three. And since we introduced the focus on three system, you have been so passionate about the concept of it initially. You learned it, you integrated it, you started training it, you started figuring out how you could really show people how to build this business on a part-time basis just with customers, and then moving into team members. And what I would like you to share is, what message would you want your team, and in this case, the entire First Fitness Nutrition team, to know, learn, and understand about the power of focus on three?
I would say this: the comp plan that is part of First Fitness Nutrition is the greatest product that we have. Now let me stop right there. We have great products. Our products are just amazing, that I have been using for half my life. The products are phenomenal. But this focus on three product, if you'll give me the liberty to literally address it in that way, is the most exciting product that you have offered to me. Because the comp plan, focus on three, it's not just like me going out saying, hey, I hope I make a sale today, or I hope I can, tell someone about my product today. Although I do hope that. But the back end is, in my mind, my focus is the concept, the comp plan, focus on three, because it's building something. Remember, it's the PVC pipe, it's the foundation, it's getting started doing what we do. And you got to have an aim. When you have a basketball, you're trying to shoot the basketball into the goal. In soccer, you're trying to kick the ball into the goal. In weightlifting, you want to get strong. Well, as you're working your First Fitness business, what are you trying to do? It's this focus on three concept that we have in our comp plan that's, first of all, easy to understand. If you can just understand three people, you can understand the comp plan. It gives me a focus, it gives me an end result, and it's easy to understand. That's why I am so excited about it.
And Keith, when you are talking to a brand new team member or to one of your team members about focus on three, what is it that you're trying to get across to them as far as the action steps that you want them to take?
Well, first of all, Nigel, you got to get started with your smart ship. We teach you've got to be a product of the product. You can't ask someone to do something that you're not willing to do. So we want you to get set up on a smart ship to make a personal commitment to your health and wellness. We say of at least $100 a month, but I would like to add, if you'll give me the liberty, I think as a team member, we ought to really comprehend and focus on maybe like even $150 a month smart ship that I'm going to consider my personal use of the product. Remember, we're in business. And we talked about just a few minutes ago the importance of treating this like a real business. And so for me to talk to you, Nigel, let's say I was working with you and I was sharing this with you, I would say, Nigel, you can comprehend you need to be a product of the product, support your own business. And so we want you to at least be on $100 smart ship. And then we want to help you, Nigel, get 3 customers. Now, I'm not saying stop at 3, but foundation upon foundation upon foundation, bringing it down to the most simplest form, 3 customers. And so collectively, between your volume and those 3 customers, and you have to have a $500 PV, just means everything that I'm talking about, right? Cumulative volume, because we show you an example here of 100, 100, and 100, but those numbers are going to be a little bit different than that, but they need to be at least 100 and 500 cumulative. When you accomplish that, you're going to make what we call a $100 power bonus. Now let me say that one more time because I don't want to confuse you. We need you to use the product on a smart ship, and we need to help you find 3 customers to do the same. What do we mean the same? Get on a smart ship, which is a monthly subscription of at least $100, and then we have to have collectively 500 to obtain the phase 1 bonus. Now, some people tell me this, Nigel. Well, Keith, you expected me to get excited about a $100 bonus? Well, that would have been like me telling that Olympic weightlifting coach, sir, you want me to get excited about putting a PVC pipe on my back? Well, he would have told me, son, I've been doing this for years. And that guy over there in the corner, you see, who's got all the weights on the bar now that you hope to have one day, he started with a PVC pipe. There's no way I could have walked into that arena of that facility, me and my brother back then, and started with all those weights on our back. So I hear people say, well, you want me to get excited about a $100 check? Yeah, because we're building a foundation. This is where we're starting. It's to get 3 and get this phase 1 bonus of $100.
Keith, let me ask you, what is the most amount of phase 1 bonuses that you've earned personally in a single month?
7.
So that's $700 in phase 1 power bonuses plus your regular commissions.
Yeah, people need to understand this comp plan. We're only talking about one of the several ways that you can make money in our comp plan. If you just focus on what we're trying to teach you right here, you're going to be amazed at the benefits of the comp plan that is going to start to pay you. It's more than what we're showing you here, but this is just the focus, your goal, your aim of what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I think, when we started off talking about this segment of the training, you said it's giving you something to aim for. Get 3, you earn 100. Teach 3, you earn an additional 300, and repeat the process, and you had 2,800. That's over $3,000 a month. But to your point about phase 1, Keith, let me ask you this. If every single team member in your organization qualified for just phase 1, what would we be doing today?
You know, Nigel, it would be remarkable. And I think that the lack of understanding is really what we need to really grasp today. And it doesn't mean that anybody's a second class citizen for not understanding, but it's just something that I'm going to challenge everybody tonight is to think of this focus on three as a product, because it is a product that can affect your lifestyle. The products affect your life. This product affects your lifestyle. And to me, that's what was attractive to me, to have a lifestyle that gave you time freedom. I can't tell you as a young 25-year-old, going back to focus, going back to a goal, going back to an end result. I mean, think about it. If nobody ever told you what the end result would be, that would affect your desire, your ambition, your energy that you put into something. And I'm not talking about dangling a carrot out there that you're never going to get. This is a work program. This is not a lottery ticket, like you said. So the end result of the time freedom lifestyle, that's what this product provides you. And so the focus on three is something that I really want to encourage everybody to please get with your sponsor, watch the training. You may say, I see it, but I don't see it. Well, we're going to have to see it, because this is something that I'm very passionate about.
Well, and I want to contribute to the training with my mindset pertaining to focus on three. Team, here's what I want you to please pay attention to. People have to have a system and a track to run on. Just as when someone's buying the Trim Slim weight loss program, there's a track to run on. We tell you what to do for your morning supplements. We tell you what to do for lunch. We tell you what to do for your dinner. When it comes to focus on three, we're telling you what to do. Phase one, make a commitment to your health with a $100 SmartShip. Get 3 customers or team members to do the same and have a total of $500 in volume. That's it. That is the system. So I want you to take a look at the big picture. Your track to run on. You're going to start off by getting 3 and earn that 100. By the way, you can earn multiple $100 bonuses, and it is repeat on the same people. So as long as your 3 consistently are ordering, it's not a one-time bonus. You can earn multiple phase ones before you move to phase 2. And then we want you to enroll 3 team members and teach them to do what you did. Make a commitment to their health with a $100 SmartShip, get 3 customers or team members to do the same, and a total of $500 in volume. That's the system. And then we're going to teach those 3 to repeat the process. This is probably one of the most dynamic elements in the network marketing industry as far as compensations go, to show people how to make that part-time income. It's very, very powerful. I just really appreciate your commitment and your wisdom. And, after 27 years of being in the business, there is proof behind your message. What do you want to leave every person who is watching this presentation? What success nuggets could you give us that would make us stop and think about, that makes sense? I want this to be for me what it has been for Keith. What is that message?
Well, whether you're hearing me for the first time ever right now on this webinar, or you've been listening to me since I've joined this company, you're going to hear the same thing. Number one, you have to work on what my friend Bob Reed taught me, your skills, your attitude, and your technique. I call it the SATs. And you have to treat this like a business, a real business. Now, no one's telling you to quit your job right away and, come charge the hill. No, you have to have a full-time mindset. But the opportunity to build your business in your part-time. And so we call it 1 year to learn, 2 years to earn, and 3 to 5 years to build a business. So in our business, the 1 year to learn, we're not saying you can't make income, but you're learning while you're earning. But that concept of the 3 to 5 years to build a business is what we are really focused on. And so you got to have a burning desire. You got to be passionate about what you're doing. And Nigel, I do appreciate the passion that you have displayed. I mean, I've been with the company 27 years, but you've been with it from day one. And the passion is something that we have to have. You have to be willing to work. Just as anything in life takes effort, you have to give your efforts time to compound. And then be consistent in the basics. The basics, the basics, the basics. And giving your efforts time to compound is what I would say has kept me going for 27 years. It's not rocket science. It's just, it's being, how I heard somebody say one time, you're going to have to be able to function in the mundane. You're going to have to be able to function in if you ever watched Karate Kid, wax on, wax off, sand the floor, paint the fence. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch YouTube of that scene. And you can see even in that movie, Daniel's son, the first Karate Kid, he was getting frustrated with the mundane, but he didn't comprehend what the end result was. And that light bulb came on when he caught it. And it was just a moving moment that I hope that it would be a great analogy for you to see what I'm talking about.
Keith, I just want to take this opportunity to thank you for your training, for your wisdom, for your nuggets that you've shared with us tonight. We really are appreciative of your 27 years of commitment to First Fitness. And I just want to say on behalf of the team, happy anniversary in advance. You are a leader worth following. Thank you for being with us tonight, Keith.
Thank you, Nigel.
All right, team. In closing out our training today, I'd like you to do a couple of exercises if you haven't already done it. And the first one is to log in to office and make sure you've got your smart chip and think about the commitment that you want to make to your health. And then I'd like you to go to the compensation plan section on the left-hand menu. And when you click on that, you will be taken to the compensation plan section in the back office. Watch every element of Focus on 3. That's the system. That is the simplicity of what we're trying to get across to everyone so that they can have a thriving part-time or full-time income with First Fitness Nutrition. I appreciate each and every one of you for being on this webinar tonight, and we'll see you next week.